It has become one of my favorite books in my personal library. The book chronicled the history of the invention, development, refinement, and practices of all religions in the world. The photos captured my imagination. The text expanded my appreciation of the complex nature of religions, and the research provided insights into the commonality of the human family. At the heart of the book was a concept that all religions are a result of man's search for a supreme being identified as God, divinity, or whatever other word one chooses to fill in the blank. Religion is man's attempt to respond to his desire to find some type of meaningful, impossible, intimate relationship with a supreme being as he seeks to find some reasonable meaning to life. This human search for ultimate reality is natural and common to all human cultures. Even the self-acclaimed atheist inherently believes that at the very least there is someone or something out there not to believe in. Even in the most primitive societies, we find this expression of desire to seek, find, and understand a supreme being as evidence in the creation, development, and practice of some form of religion. However, the question confronts us. From where did this natural desire and need to seek for a higher power originate? This internal soul-searching irritation that there must be a reason and design for the universe and creation must have a source. The long search for reality obviously implies that something is lost. It is impossible to search for nothing. Therefore, it is my contention that the very nature of man's soul search indicates that something he previously possessed is missing. It also seems that this need to search is not a choice but a necessity. The search is personal as well as corporate. Perhaps the best way to find what is missing and what we are searching for is to identify what you need or desire. For example, thirst implies the need for water. Hunger implies the need for food. And tiredness implies the need for rest. So we can identify what we lack by what we naturally desire and thus recognize our need. We will discuss this need of mankind in succeeding chapters. However, it is important to at least acknowledge its existence and overpowering control over all mankind, and to also appreciate that this deep need controls and dictates man's behavior both individually and corporately. Identifying the need. I have spent over 40 years studying and researching this phenomenon. First in a personal pursuit and then also in a lifelong commitment to help others find some answers to their dilemma. I have come to the conclusion that the common pursuit of all humans is the pursuit of power, the desire to possess the ability to control one's circumstances and destiny. I know this may shock you and perhaps cause you to go into denial. Most of us would not want to admit that we desire something as frightening as power, but the reality is that this is the basic desire in every human heart. When I use the term power, I am not referring to the tyrannical, oppressive, dictatorial control of people, but rather the ability to control one's own circumstances and environment. It is this lack of control over our daily lives, situations, and circumstances that make us feel so helpless and live as victims of life. For most of us, life is simply a daily struggle as we try to stay afloat in a sea of uncertainty and pressures of all sorts. At the same time, we wrestle with a sense of dignified slavery to the institutions of societies. Our desire and passion to gain this power to control our circumstances and environment is the motivation for our behavior. We strive to gain possessions of influence in order to accumulate financial wealth. We seek the power that money promises, political and spiritual power, the accumulation of status symbols, superior knowledge, and many other forms of controlling dispositions. I believe this pursuit for power is simply the pursuit of dominion over life. This human preoccupation and desire for power and dominion is also the fuel for man's obsessions and progressive development in all disciplines, including political science, social science, biological science, technical science, spiritual research, economic research, and all other aspects of the human experience. The research of this power search is found in the long human march toward modernization. Over the past 6,000 years, mankind has tried and continues to try to control and tame the environment through the inventions of primitive and modern instruments. For example, in science, he tries to stop the aging process, improve the quality and length of life, and produce every type of pill to solve a myriad of problems. Ultimately, his greatest challenge is to prevent the reality of death. No matter how far man thinks he has progressed, the ability to achieve dominion and power over life and death on earth still eludes him. In fact, in light of all the uncontrollable social ills, health, epidemics, In fact, in light of all the uncontrollable social ills, health epidemics, military conflicts, political unrest, economic uncertainties, religious clashes, and destruction of the environment, it seems as if man's advancement is an evolution backward in time. This human failure to achieve control and mastery over his environment and circumstances has left him with a deep desire for a brand new world. The human spirit longs for a world he can control where circumstances are at the mercy of his will. This is the greatest human desire. This is also the source and motivation of religious and spiritual development and practice. In every religion, we discover the component that promises power to control circumstances and even death itself. This explains why the deep, dark, secret practices of witchcraft and spiritism are so attractive to millions. They promise power over people and circumstances. The human spirit is possessed by the desire to dominate, rule, and control the personal, private world and the environment. Man in search of the ultimate governing power of dominion, the desire to power is inherent in the human spirit. To understand this desire for power, it is necessary to understand the original purpose and design of mankind and the assignment for which he was created. There is no greater pursuit of man than the pursuit of power to control our circumstances.